Another guy taking time out of his busy schedule, and especially with all sorts of things happening here in the city of Toronto, a friend of mine and a friend of yours out there from TSN, Kristian Jack. Kristian, welcome, my friend.
Always a pleasure, Anthony. How are you?
I couldn't be better. But before we talk about the small things in this world, let's talk a little bit about your son. You were off at training with your son, or you had a game. How was that?
Yeah, he just started. He just turned 5 yesterday, so he's only in his first few weeks of ever kicking a ball properly. But he's enjoying it, and you know what? That's all that matters.
And how great is that to take some pictures, to take some video, and to sit back and soak it all in to watch, your son play the game that you and I both love.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's one of the many great things about this country in terms of having organized football or soccer for young kids just to go out there and let's keep it, ultra fun and make sure the emphasis on just enjoying it for as long as we can because, far too often things turn the other way as we get older.
You're absolutely right, Kristian. Let's go back to that final whistle last night at TFC's game. The things that went through my mind were in order. I was so happy for the young Canadian kids, Ashton Morgan, Jonathan Osorio. Right after that, I was happy for the day oneers, the guys that have stuck through this roller coaster ride, the season seat holders. And then I got to be honest, I was happy for Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment that is told to where to sign on that check in the last 2 years, and they've done that, and now it's paid off with a playoff game coming up. Your thoughts at the end of that final whistle?
Yeah, I echo everything you said. As usual, we're in total agreement. I think your point about MLSE is a very good one because so often in professional sports, fans grow to treat ownership with disdain, but they absolutely cannot do this with this case, with this ownership group, and just in terms of not only their financial investment, but in terms of particularly since Tim Lewicki came over and really changed the dynamic and really talked about how big that team was at Toronto FC. It just, there's been a real emphasis from that ownership to get this right, and they put tremendous resources into it. So it's what every fan dreams of all around the world, for their ownership to not only, throw money at their team, but to be really into it and back it all the way. And they deserve tremendous credit, as do everybody that you mentioned. I just thought it was a fitting finale, really, in many ways. New York Red Bulls have been a nemesis over the years. We have to remember the 5-0 robbing when they had a chance to make the playoffs many years ago in 2009, and last season when they were officially almost eliminated when they went to New York and got beat quite handily 3-0. So they've been a nemesis in the past, so it's quite fitting that they were the team that were here leading the Eastern Conference, and the team that obviously Toronto FC have to go through if they're going to try and make waves in the playoffs.
Kristian, I look forward to the playoffs, and I tell you, if Michael Bradley's playing the way we know he can play, if Giovinco, as we've seen with that unbelievable goal of the year last night play, and you get Chris Kanapka, who I believe his team plays much more differently in front of him than they did in front of Joe Bendik, then anything is possible. And I believe if they can work out that back end, watch out, they could end up in the final.
Yeah, look, it's a completely different tournament, isn't it? Once you get in, everything is wiped away. The records of the 34 games have been wiped away. I think you're right to bring up the issues defensively. They do concede too many goals. And obviously, again, they conceded last night, even though I thought that Benoit Cheroux and Colin Warner really formed a very good partnership in midfield and in midfield discipline. And I think that word is so important going forward with Bradley as well, is the discipline in midfield to make sure that they remain in shape the entire time and protect that back four. That's going to be so crucial for them going forward. But look, when you mention the players, particularly when you've got a player like Sebastian Giovinco, anything is possible. He's a player who can win a game out of nothing for you. So, there'll be a team that, now suddenly, even though they've had some struggles in the season, it'll be a team that nobody will want to play come the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Kristian, let me ask you this. I was talking about it over the weekend at the Generation Adidas tournament at the Kia training grounds of TFC with many, many people from all over the eastern-based part of the USA and the TFC youngsters playing in that tournament. When the rumor came out about Sebastian Giovinco and possibly Barcelona having a serious thought of having him over there to start 2016. I got to tell you, if he's playing like this, there's no reason why Barcelona would not want a player like this. Many laughed when I said, hey, this could be possible, and I still believe it could be. Your thoughts?
Well, there's a number of factors here. First of all, I think it's important to note that Sebastian Giovinco isn't, unlike some of the other designated players, it seems like he isn't one to have his head turned. So that's important to mention right away. He was quoted after the game against Norway in Rome on Tuesday night when asked about the link, by basically coming out and saying, no, look, I've just started my new team. Let me enjoy this adventure first. And I firmly believe him. We have to believe him. You know, everything and more that we've seen from this player so far is that, you know, his character is exactly what you want when you put all that money in for the infrastructure behind a designated player. So that's a crucial thing for one. But look, you know, the report that initially linked them with Giovinco from Barcelona included a number of players. Marco Reus is another one. But I just think that speaks to the credit that the players that are linked to the club right now. It speaks to the level that the level of talent that Sebastian Giovinco is playing at. Look, do I think that Barcelona ultimately will sign an Italian at that age with the money that it will cost, particularly with the wages that would given him for Giovinco to go? I've got to say I probably wouldn't imagine that would happen, but there's a reason why he's being linked with them right now, and that's because of the incredible talent that he's showing week in, week out, and the high level that we're all so lucky to watch every week, Anthony.
Let me ask you this before we let you go, Kristian. Now we see that the rest of the world knows that MLS is not a vacation league like it was years ago. And guys like Giovinco in their prime can come over here, make a lot of money, have success, have fame, on and on. And I think that's what's going to happen from some young Spaniards, Germans, English players. I think they're going to look at this MLS option very, very seriously. But there's the question that I keep posing out there the last number of years. When are we going to see some bright international coaches make their way here to start implementing some different styles of play, whether it's a Spaniard, an Englishman, a Welshman, whoever? I think it's long overdue that maybe some influx of some good international coaches make their way here. You, Kristian?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I think that, you know, like anything, Anthony, it will eventually grow that way. You know, it's amazing that goal last night that was scored by Sebastian Giovinco has created incredible headlines across European papers today, Italy, all across England, and it's those kind of things that make a difference. It's one, and Gerrard's here now. Obviously, we've got Lampard. That brings recognition, and now we've got the international television deals that are giving more and more opportunities for those players and those coaches to watch what's going on. So, look, you know, right now the overseas players, the overseas coaches that have come over here have really started as players. You know, you think of Carl Robinson and what he's doing at the Whitecaps right now, and, you know, a number of other examples. But I do think eventually there will be links to all these other coaches over there, and that can only be good for the game, can't it? Because obviously you want, you know, tactical flexibility, you want different brains, you want different ways to look at the game to change that, and I think that will be important. Although we have to say it isn't going right to plan at the moment with the U.S. national team and Jurgen Klinsmann, particularly over the last few weeks.
Wow, yeah, I mean, we had Jeff Carlisle on before Kristian, and boy, oh boy, the knives are out, the spotlight is out. I think something's got to give there. If he doesn't start out good in World Cup qualifying against Trinidad and Tobago, boy, oh boy, I would not want to be him, but it's real interesting times down there. Kristian, listen, thanks so much once again for making time out of your busy schedule. Enjoy your son, because that is a journey that you'll enjoy. I still have one more left in the system, and you know, a lot of gas put into that car, a lot of nights spent away from family events, but it's all worth it. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, my friend.
Thank you very much. God bless, Anthony. You're an outstanding father and a great broadcaster too. Thanks, pal.
Thank you. That is Kristian Jack of TSN, always making gracious time out of his schedule to join us. We really appreciate it. He is a class act.